Thanks for watching Fresh Check students. This is the Thrive booth, and we have our Student Success Center staff, Sandy and Roberta, Christoph, John Skippa, and our student worker, Lola, and myself, Christina, here today. Um, Focusing on your strengths and embracing a positive attitude can better equip you to thrive in your environment. So this is what our booth is all about. Along with our video, you'll see some links on ways to thrive at home and also a template for gratitude dice. So that's what we're going to start out with today. This is a really simple activity you can do anytime on your own or with your friends and family. So we are going to, I'll start that out with rolling my dice here. Name a season that you are thankful for. I have to say that mine is probably summer. I love summertime. And not because we're off from classes, because we are here working all the time throughout summer. But I love the warm weather. My birthday is in the summertime, so that might have something to do with it too. And it's just been a time where we've always had lots of family get-togethers and been able to have more friends and family over because we could be outside and hanging out in our yard, going to parks, things like that. So that is probably, I like all of the seasons in New England, but I think summer is the one that I'm most thankful for.
I
Sandy,
agree.
do you want to go next?
Oh, yes, I roll the dice now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
go right ahead.
All right, I'm going to roll it. Okay. Name a time you felt really happy. Oh, let me think. Generally, I feel happy anytime anything is going kind of smooth. I'm like, yeah, this is great. Especially nowadays, right?
Yes.
But I think I feel most happy when I'm playing games with my kids. We've been really into like fun little, I wouldn't even say board games, but there's a couple fun games that we play. One is called Tenzi and one's called Slapsy. And they're really interactive games. Like you have to roll the dice and you have the first person to get all of them to match wins. And it gets really heated here. We get really competitive. And that makes me really happy because we're all just like, I don't know, just being active and having fun and just letting all the stress melt away. So I would say that would be my choice for most happy.
That's great.
Cool.
Roberta, would you like to go next?
Yes, thank you. My dice says that to offer my favorite quote about gratitude. So for me, I think that would be that gratitude is the fairest blossom which springs from the soul. That's by Henry Ward Beecher. I have I have quite a few quotes that I really, really like about gratitude because I try to remind myself of gratitude every morning. And my mom years ago gave me a lovely little book about gratitude and gratitude sayings. And so every now and then I'll take a peek, but since COVID has hit, I've really spent a lot of time every morning thinking about what I'm grateful for so it can really start my day off on a high note.
That's great.
Thank you.
That is a
Yay.
great way to start off the day for sure.
Definitely.
Lola, would you like to go next?
Yeah, of course. I'm gonna roll my dice now.
All right.
It says name a place you are thankful to have visited. Um, I am grateful that I visited the Sleeping Giant park
Yeah.
Oh, yes,
because
I love it there.
yeah, I just when I go there, I just appreciate the green. I take a walk and just sit down, appreciate all the mountains, the greens, the trees. So that is like a very place that I am very thankful for that I have
Nice.
visited. Yeah.
Nice. Lola,
I
Very
love it there.
I thought for sure you were going to suggest the Student Success Center because now you get to work in the office with all of us wonderful people and you get to help so many students throughout their adventure at the college.
Well,
That's
there
number
is a
two.
lot of things that I'm thankful for. I mean, places, but I had to pick one.
Yes, that's okay.
I
Sleeping
love
I
it
that's
there,
one of
Lola.
my yeah, that's one of my favorite local hikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really do love it.
My favorite place to get lost, Lola. Me and my
Oh,
friend used to always get lost. We would be on a trail, but we're like, oh, I guess we're on the orange trail now. And
yeah.
we followed that along.
There are a
Sometimes
lot.
get lost. Yeah. Oh,
Christoph, would you like
Isn't it?
to roll your dice?
Yes. Yeah. So unfortunately, I don't have a camera. I'm working from home today, but I do have my dice here. I cut it out and folded it. Um,
Nice.
it was a lot trickier than I thought it would be, but that might just be me.
It's a good
Yeah.
craft project.
Yeah, that might just be me. So I'm just gonna go. Let me roll it here. And I got the same one. What season are you? I got the same one as Christina. What season are you most thankful for, and why? So, living in New England, of course, we get to experience all of our beautiful seasons, and sometimes it's hard to tell what season we're in.
Mm.
Um, but my favorite one is actually the opposite of Christina's. It's winter.
Oh.
Yeah, so I really like winter.
Nice.
I love the snow. I like skiing. I like traveling up to Vermont where it's even colder and even snowier. And the winter has three really important holidays. Because it's an opportunity for like family to come together, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what I really like about it. Because especially, I mean, this year obviously was a little bit different. The gatherings were much smaller,
Yeah.
but in the past, getting everybody together for Christmas or whatever holidays you celebrate during the winter months, um, I think that's one of the best things to do is just coming together as family. And I don't mind the cold. I love to grab my blanket, sit by the fireplace, have a cup of hot tea, and watch the snowfall. Cuddle with the dog a little bit.
Oh
um,
yeah.
I genuinely do like winter. Sometimes the cold gets a little too far in one direction, and I'm like, okay, we can we can warm up a little bit, but I do like the winter. I like the coziness of it and the opportunity for people to gather for the holidays.
Yeah, that is great. I
That's
do. I
wonderful.
like being able to get together in the holiday season too.
Same here.
Yeah.
Same here.
Great. Well, thanks everyone for sharing on your gratitude dice. A couple of the other things that were on our Thrive at Home talked about showing appreciation, maybe sending a note to somebody who's been kind to you. This is something that I've done over the last year with COVID. It kind of started when I had a friend whose birthday came up, and I decided rather than messaging them on social media, which can be a little overwhelming at times, I went to my card box to find them a little note card to send. I couldn't get to the store to buy a birthday card, but I saw that I had all of these, if you can see them, a whole box of all these different note cards that I had left over from various things. So I just wrote out a blank note card to say happy birthday. And I really wanted to do it more throughout this year, just to have some positive mail to send to my friends and family rather than a lot of the other marketing and bills and things like that that we tend to get in the mail. And I realized how many of these cards I kind of had lying around the house that weren't getting used. So this was a fun, easy way to spread a little bit of appreciation um,
Mm.
I
recently.
love getting mail.
Yes,
I love getting
I love getting good
yeah.
mail. That's actually one thing I love about the
Good mail.
holiday season too.
Yeah.
Getting holiday cards in the mail really makes getting the mail a lot more exciting than it is most of the year.
Yes. Yes. It's like January when my seed catalogs start to come in. I can start planning for that summer
Yep,
garden.
a
Yeah.
nice thing to look
Yeah.
forward
That's
to.
fun.
Yeah.
That's great.
Another thing we had on the list was making a can list, which Sandy was going to talk about for a moment.
Oh yes. So I I'm a big list maker. So this stemmed from me being an expert procrastinator. Um, if it were an Olympic event, I would win for sure. So I said, this has got to change. This is not successful for me. So I make a lot of lists. I highlight things when I complete them. I make lists like more to-do lists for school or for work, but it's nice to make lists of things, small goals that you want to accomplish. I want to accomplish this goal of of planting a garden this year. What do I have to do to start? Whatever it may be, whatever I want to accomplish. It could be a list of personal goals for myself. I'm going to be kinder to myself. I'm going to take breaks. I'm going to go to Sleeping Giant. Um,
Hmm.
so what I find is really fun is they have all these really, like, I don't know if you could see, but I've gotten these as gifts before, and sometimes they just like stack up and they look so pretty. Like this one says, nevertheless, she persisted. So that was really inspiring. I have another one here. It's really pretty. It just says grace, but it's just like, oh, I want to pick that up and I want to write into it. And I found a really cool article, which hopefully we can put the link in. But it's an article from Psychology Today, and they talked about the 6 great benefits of lists. And I won't read all of them to you, but you foster a capacity to select and prioritize. This is useful in an information overload situation. So I'm sure we're all dealing with that. Information overload. How many emails, how many texts, and how many calls, right? So much to do. Um, it's much better when you can prioritize. So sometimes I'll write everything down and then I'll put numbers next to it, and then I'll reorder it and I'll write it. And just the act of doing that is calming to me, you know? Um, Another one you can do, and it speaks to me, is you combat avoidance. So when I talked about procrastination, you're taking things that are maybe up here, right? But you're making them concrete by putting them on the list. You're setting them into motion. So whatever list you want to make, whatever you feel you want to accomplish, sometimes people might feel stuck. I've felt that before. Have you all felt stuck before? Like you get
Yep.
in a rut. All right, I'm going to make a list. I'm going to
Right.
make a list too. Or maybe I'm going to make sure I get all my veggies in this week. Maybe I'm going to make sure I get outside and enjoy fresh air, go for more walks or longer walks, whatever it may be. Make the list manageable and realistic, and then work on checking them off. It can
Yep.
really make a difference. It really can transform your life if you set that new goal of doing lists.
Yeah, I do find it really inspirational to check things off my list. It
Yeah,
makes me feel very satisfied
me
and
too.
accomplished.
Especially your list about your schoolwork. I
Yes.
checked off
Oh,
I checked
yeah.
off a few things off my schoolwork list last night that
Yeah.
just felt so rewarding, and I'm like, "God,
Relief,
I'm almost
right?
there."
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
great
Lift
feeling.
off your shoulders.
Yeah, it's a great feeling.
That
Lola,
is
do you do lists?
I usually don't do lists most of the time. I just do lists in my head. So it's
Yeah.
just like
So
I
good.
don't write them down. I think it's good to write them down. So when
Yeah.
you check them off, you're like, yeah, I did
yep.
something.
You
Mhm.
can
Try,
see
but
how you
whatever works
go back
for
to how
you.
much you've gotten
Yeah.
done. Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh.
great.
The last thing on our list was how to use your mental health superpowers. Christoph, did you want to share on that one?
Yeah, absolutely. So now, now more than ever, there's with everybody being home, there's a lot less interaction with others. So a lot of times, the only opportunity you get to interact with colleagues or friends is the same way we're doing right now.
Yep.
Instead of us all sitting in the same room and having a camera record us, we're on our video conference, and that's how we're interacting. Which it makes it a little more difficult to be there for others. But one of the most important things that we can do is to be a good listener. And being a good listener doesn't mean um, listening to somebody's problem and immediately trying to offer a solution. A lot of times, and especially for me, after a tough day, or if something's not going well, I like to call up a friend and just complain. Just just complain to them, complain. And I'm not complaining to them because I want them to fix my problem. I just need somebody to hear it. I just need to get it out there.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people are the same way as well. So one of the best things of being a good listener is really just being in the moment. It's a little tougher now because a lot of it's virtual, but making sure you don't have your phone with you, you're not distracted by work. You carve out that time to really be there for that person emotionally, and you just listen. If they ask for your opinion, you're of course welcome to provide it. But just being cautious that it's not necessarily them looking for a solution. It's just them trying to get something off their chest. And sometimes that's all we need. Just an opportunity to yell at the world a little bit, have somebody be there and say, you know what, I totally get it, and then you go on with the rest of your day. Everything is fine. And that's something that we can all do. You don't need a master's degree to just be a good listener. Um,
True.
it's just taking the time to be present for somebody, and it could be somebody that you don't even know too well. It things, especially for the past year or so, have been very tough for everybody. And just being there.
Mhm.
That's great.
Good point.
You are a very good listener, Christoph, and we appreciate
Absolutely.
that in the
Yeah.
office. We've all benefited from that.
Yeah.
We're going to welcome John Skippa too, one of our
Hi,
other
Skipper.
student success advisors. Welcome back, Skip. He took a phone call before. So I think, Skip, before we went through, we have this little dice, if you can see it, a gratitude dice, and it has all different things that we can mention that we are grateful for or appreciate. So I will roll it for you if you'd like to share something with us.
You mean
Does that
I'm
work
going
for
to
you?
have to, no cheating here. Tell me exactly what it said.
No, okay. Um, name someone you are thankful for. That's what you got on here.
Oh, wow. Are we obviously talking about the educational environment that we are all a part of, or are we talking about life in general? I just
Just
don't want to go off.
uh,
Life
anything,
in
life in
general.
general, whatever you would like.
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, listen, I have a lot of people I would spend probably much more time than we have allotted for all of this. I mean, people coming in and out of your life, that you think back that you wouldn't be where you are if you hadn't made that contact. And sometimes it's more prolonged, and sometimes it's very brief.
Mm.
I personally remember, how I got into advising for teaching for as long as I've been teaching. The advising part of my time didn't come till much later in my career. And there was an individual who I have never met, but
Oh.
I mention him a lot. Okay. The first time I met him, he was applying for a position at the college, and I was on the search committee.
Mhm.
And when asked about, he was applying for an advising position. When asked about that, and he had a very great background in education. He was actually a president of a small college. And
Wow.
returning home to the Northeast, he wanted to advise. And so he was asked the question quite pointedly. He said, and the question was, how do you see academic advising? And I think some of you have heard the story. What did he say? He says, it's the one place you have to be 100% accurate. It stuck with me. I said, oh my goodness. I said, and he said, why? He says, because the wrong word, the wrong phrase, the wrong course, and he had a whole list. And
Yeah.
you have derailed somebody from their goal, which is
Mhm.
not your job at that point. Your job at that point is to listen to what it is they want. And so I can't even tell you his name.
Mm,
And yet
Wow.
he would be, in terms of where I find myself now, all right, he would be one of those people I would point to and say, wow, he was most influential in my life.
Wow.
yeah.
I mean, it's a good feeling, and to know, all right, that that kind of thought process is alive and well in true professionals. They understand the importance of their work, their job. All right, they don't take it lightly. I
Hmm.
love you guys because all of you have done that.
Oh,
I
we love you too.
Love you too.
Thanks, Skip.
It's interesting, Skip, because I think we've all heard you say that story to us. And I don't know about everyone else on the call, but it sticks in my brain all the time.
Yeah.
Yes.
All the time. I've got to be 100% accurate with our students.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to know that we're all striving for that same accuracy.
I mean, I feel badly that people I've known for years, in my personal life, yeah, I could spend a lot of time talking about the most influential person in my life, okay? But I do think in this case, it brings home that most crucial aspect of our work. And that you remember that story is great because it means you'll it's not pay it forward, you'll talk it forward. You'll pass it on.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
just think of the
Yeah.
movement we could make based on something that happened. Oh my God, it must be 12, 13 years ago. I mean,
Yeah.
how long has Professor Cohn been teaching, Jonah? How long has
Oh,
he
Mm,
not?
He's
Oh, I don't
well,
know
he's been
the
at the institution now for I think 17 years. We
Okay, so
started
just
almost the same time.
that was the search committee that hired him.
Okay.
mm,
Wow.
So that's how far back that story
Mhm.
goes.
mhm.
And the
wow.
fact that we still, remember it jointly and then and talk about it. Um,
Nice.
hey, it's not like we don't get something from this, right? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
do we feel when we've made it with a student that
Yep.
that student has taken our advice, all right, we've listened and they've gone to the next level. All right.
Yep.
That to me, that's
Feel grateful.
how do you replicate that feeling in any
Yeah.
other part? I mean, it's wonderful. All right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
And-
Agreed. I think that's why we do it. And that's really why this booth was actually perfect for our office. We really do appreciate working with all the students and have a lot of gratitude to be able to do
Mhm.
this for our jobs.
It's
Christina,
all
how
for
come
you,
you're coming
Lola.
so perfect now?
Ah, wonderful. I'm glad.
Yeah, you don't
Well,
have
I
two noses now. You have one. Okay. That's very important.
I'm glad. Well, I will wrap this up. Thanks for everyone for joining us for our Fresh Check booth. We hope you get to make your own dice and practice this at home. We had a lot of fun doing it, so I hope you get to, like Roberta said, start off your day with something appreciative and thankful. That can be a really great way to start your day. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks. Thanks for having us.
Bye.
Paul.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.